going to show you how you can use this flowchart for graphing linear inequalities in two variables as a resource for students in your own classroom. So the first example that I'm going to do is 3x take away 2y is greater than or equal to 8. Alright, so looking at the flowchart, the very first thing that it asks is, look at the inequality, is y isolated, meaning is y all by itself? And the answer to that is no. So we're going to go down the no path. Alright, so over here it says solve for y. Then as a note, if you multiply or divide both sides of the inequality by a negative number, make sure to flip the direction of the inequality symbol. So the example that I picked, we're going to have to particularly remember to do that. So again, we have 3x take away 2y is greater than or equal to 8. So we're going to have to start off by subtracting 3x from both sides. So if we do that, the x's cancel, and we're now left with negative 2y is greater than or equal to negative 3x, and that 8 we had was originally positive. Alright, so far, no problem. Now our next step, we're going to divide everything by negative 2, which, because of this step up here, flip the symbol. Right, so I always like to put stars around it when I realize what's happening. So we're going to get y, and then we're flipping the symbol, so instead of being greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, this becomes a positive 3 halves x, and then a minus 4. Alright, so we've done all that work. We get to go to the next step, which says identify the y-intercept. So that's going to be negative 4, which tells us when we actually plot it, it's going to be over 0, down 4, right on the y-axis. Then our slope is positive 3 over 2. That tells us wherever we start, we can go up 1, 2, 3, and then forwards 1, 2 to get another nice point. All right, following the flowchart, it says plot a point at the y-intercept over 0 up b, which for us was negative 4. So that means over 0, down 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to put a nice big point. Since we finished that, we're going to give it a checkbox. Alright, the next thing says, starting from that point we just plotted, so the y-intercept, follow your slope's rise over run pattern, which was up 3, forwards 2, and make another point. So up 1, 2, 3, forwards 1, 2. Another point. And you can really stop there. I like to put more points in. It's just kind of personal preference. So I'm going to do a couple more up 1, 2, 3, forwards 1, 2s. And then if you really want to get fancy, of course, instead of going up 3, forwards 2, you can go down 3, back 2. Alright, so we have all of our points in. Now it says, look at your inequality, and if you remember, we rewrote it as y less than or equal to 3 halves x take away 4. And it says, which inequality symbol does it have? Alright, so option 1, less than or greater than? Nope. Option 2? Oh yeah, we fall into this category, the or equal to's. The more inclusive of the inequalities. And so it says, because of this, we get to connect our points with a solid line. So I'm going to take my ruler, and I'll do that real quick. Alright, so I did that part. And then, more specifically, I don't have a greater than or equal to, but I had a less than or equal to symbol. And because of that, I'm going to shade the region below the line. So I'm going to take a highlighter. You don't really have to do it with a highlighter. You could do it with a pencil or whatever. And I like to go to the y-intercept, and I'm going to go straight down. And then I do that for several other points on the graph. So you could stop there, you could color it all in if you really want to. I always have my students color on the line if it's an or equals to. Right, just as kind of a mental reminder that you actually can equal the values on the line in this case. I know some of my students really enjoy coloring the whole thing, and they find it a kind of therapeutic break from how hectic school can kind of get sometimes. So again, color it as much as you like, just enough to get the idea of where that solution set is across. All right, so there you have it. We started off graphing 3x take away 2y is greater than or equal to 8, and this gave us our